Welcome back, bottle killers. We have a Laphroaig extravaganza today. And you know we love Laphroaig.
We do love Laphroaig.
And at first place, we have the Oak Select.
Mm-hmm.
Tie a yellow ribbon round the old oak tree. It's been 10 long years. Do I still want me?
You definitely had a warm-up dram now, haven't you?
Definitely.
So,
I'm into this.
No
And I'm excited. I'm excited because it's Laphroaig. And you know Laphroaig may be my favorite distillery.
Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day. It's definitely getting up there. It's potentially, this year, it could knock Bruichladdich off the number one Isla, but we'll see. We'll see what's coming down the pipeline.
But we got a controversy because yesterday I had an old particular 12-year-old Laphroaig. And the old particular range is arranged by Douglas Lang.
Oh, nice.
And so they just do simple casks, done really well.
Yeah.
Laphroaig not messed with, and you know when Laphroaig is not messed with, it's a simple ex-bourbon bourbon cask.
Mm-hmm.
It's lovely. It's delicious. It's just right. It's just what my palate ordered. Just what the doctor ordered. We're trying today the two most accessible Laphroaigs.
Yep.
And the reason we've done it because these are the ones that people are going to find on the supermarket shelf.
Uh-huh.
But they're not the fancy Laphroaigs. They're not like a 180-pound, 18-year-old Laphroaig, which was on our Whisky of the Year. It's what you'll find in the supermarket. Does Laphroaig still have its allure? Do we still love it when it's what you buy off the supermarket shelf?
Yeah.
That you don't have to go batch strength. You don't have to go and order it online. You don't have to go to a whiskey merchant. You can just buy it from Sainsbury's for 20 to 30 pounds.
Well, I think another spin on that as well is, if I think most people, certainly myself included, the first time that I ever tried Laphroaig, it was like, oh my God, what is this? And as you rightly say, most people are going to be spotting this on the supermarket shelf. Maybe they've seen a few adverts, like they're a bit curious. You know, they've tried some whiskies, now they want to level it up, and they're like, is Laphroaig right for me? And as like these being the most accessible, the Select here on an offer, you can pick that up for around £25, and the 10-year-old, you can typically pick it up for around £30, right?
30 quid is what you want to get it for,
yeah. You want to get it for £30.
But it's 31 now. Goddamn cost of living, Stormers Britain and all that.
Inflation.
But it's 31 I see it for now, but it's still...
It's still good enough. For an aged, good quality whiskey like Laphroaig. Now, both of them are 40%. There's not much in it price-wise, right? And these are going to be the first kinds of experiences that most people would have with Laphroaig. So what we wanted to do today is sort of say, which one's going to be right for you? Like, and we'll get into that when we start tasting the whiskey, because I don't want to give the game away.
Yeah, and
is
it because you're going to find Laphroaig Oak Select on offer more.
Yeah.
You're probably going to find it for £22-23, did you say?
At the moment, I looked just before shooting, and it's like 25.
Okay, and whereas
Average.
you may have to wait. You have to wait for a certain period of promotion that you're going to see Laphroaig 10 now on Club Card Deal, Nectar Point, Amazon.
Yeah, but it always comes back around. It always comes around.
What comes around goes around, and Laphroaig 10-year-old at £31 now. Damn, Stormers Britain. Yeah. It will come. It will come back. Is it worth waiting for?
Well, that's what we're going to find out.
And so Laphroaig is known for people that are not so well versed in whiskey for being one of the most ubiquitous whiskies that you will always see at bars around the world. You know, people recognize the label of Laphroaig because it is so ubiquitous. You see it in so many bars all around the world. Very, very popular. One of the most popular single malt scotches in the world. Obviously, the blended whiskies like the Johnnie Walker Black, the Johnnie Walker Reds, the ones that you're going to see everywhere in the world. Single malt, Glenfiddich and Laphroaig must be the top two, I'm sure. Or very, very... Maybe Glenlivet.
Yeah.
But this is going to be up there. People that are not so much whiskey... Then they always, in the UK, it's TCP. They always say it smells like TCP, God. And then in America, it's Robitussin. Robitussin.
Classic.
Daddy, I broke my leg. Just try to Robitussin.
So you're a big fan of Laphroaig 10, right? Would you say like there's always a bottle of Laphroaig 10 on your shelf, like it's a pretty much a go-to for you?
It's just you can't beat it. And it's always available, like you said. It has been pretty much available on the offer. And so, if you're going to go to the supermarket and buy a bottle, Laphroaig would always be one that is a stalwart.
Yeah,
for me.
And what about the Oak Select? What are your kind of preconceptions, assumptions?
Well, my preconceptions is it's a pile of crap. I'm just gonna be honest. I've never had it, but
Okay.
and I do I do watch whiskey YouTubers, and I do go to a whiskey club, and there is a little bit of snobbery there, and so they're the people that just write it off straight away.
Yeah.
And I've heard their opinions. I've not had it myself, and so yeah, that's my preconceived conception without actually trying it. Which I think a lot of whiskey reviews and a lot of stuff in whiskey is people have heard other people talk about it rather than they've tried it themselves.
100%, like 100%. But that's kind of like hypocrisy, because then when we sit here and like tell people that the whiskey's good or not good, then it's like, don't take our opinion, just drink it yourself. Anyway.
We'll be honest though, but we're giving our opinion after trying it though. We're not giving our opinion off like stealing it off somebody else.
No. So I think this would be kind of interesting one. Like, I don't know how it's going to go with the Oak Select, because I know Michael likes the 10-year-old.
Tie a yellow ribbon round the old oak tree.
But what was interesting for me is I always thought the Oak Select was just like a watered down version of the 10-year-old, and that's why that was my misconception. Is that like the reason why it's rubbish is because they've just taken something that is good, known to be good, 10-year-old,
it's a younger
classic,
it's a younger,
and they've watered it down. But I was drinking them the other day, so you can see this is, I've drank a fair bit of this, so it can't be terrible. Like, or I'm just trying to bottle kill it because I want to get rid of it like super quick.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
know. That's a great barometer.
40%, also 40%. So I was like, well, it can't just be a watered down 10-year-old. So I did a bit of research. Now the Oak Select has actually got 5 different cask types in.
I was surprised when you told me this.
I was surprised. I was surprised. And if anyone doesn't know this or has kind of was an idiot like me and just basically thought the Oak Select was a watered down version of the 10-year-old, it's got Oloroso sherry casks, American Virgin Oak casks, PX casks, quarter casks, and of course those classic bourbon casks. The 10, on the other hand, that's all straight up bourbon. So I think what we're figuring out is which one is right for you. What do the flavors sort of look like? What's going to be more approachable? Are you let's not judge the whiskey before it's been drank, but are you like more, I just like the straight up classic bourbon, loads of Laphroaig character, medicinal, or are you, I want to kind of ease myself in with a bit of a little bit of sort of a blendy, mixy marriage of weird and wonderful things. So
lesson numero uno is that it's its own whiskey.
Do your research.
It's not a poor little brother. It's its own man.
I mean, like, Laphroaig is always, it's Laphroaig, right?
Yeah, you got the briny TCP.
Briny, medicinal.
Salty, saline.
But it's not kind of like, whoa, this one.
No, it's more deeper in the glass, isn't it? It's not at the top of the glass. It's more the deeper, the depth of it.
Yeah.
But you could put this in front of me at any given time of day. You could wake me up at 4 a.m. and say, "What's this?" And I'd know exactly what it was. Is there any age statement on this that you're aware of? Because I know sometimes they don't have an age statement on it, but there's a when you did your research online, they have kind of figured out what it could be.
Not from recollection. Nothing kind of stood out. And again, when you think that it's got virgin oak in there, which is sometimes used to accelerate because it's more active, because it's obviously newer wood. You couldn't say, because the youngest whiskey is going to be whatever comes from that virgin oak cask. So that's why obviously it's the no age statement.
Virgin oak really splits people.
Yeah, I like it. I'm a fan. When we were at Laphroaig, I bought the distillery cask virgin oak, and it's great. Like, I love it. I've had fully matured Glenallachie's in just nothing but virgin oak. And
you had Deanston Cash Strength,
virgin oak. Virgin oak, yeah. Anyway, so this one, what you getting?
Not much.
Unimpressed, bit thin. It is mellow, isn't it?
It's incredibly thin, that's for sure. It's got the lovely Laphroaig peated character that I love. So that's one thing I'm drawn straight away. It's just it's still Laphroaig, and I love Laphroaig. So
do you know what this is reminding me of?
It's like thin. It's thin in a way that I've not had to.
Do you know what it's reminding me of? Somewhere between like the Johnny Walker Isla Origins and like a Laphroaig 10-year-old, you know, because it's got that mix of casks, so it's probably more akin to a blend. And we did an episode the other week on the Johnny Walker Origins, comparing them to the classic black label. So this to me is more, if I was normally someone that would drink a blend, I think this would appeal to them.
What? So you'll have to tell me what flavors you're getting here, because if I'm honest, what I'm getting is somebody has left an ice cube in a Laphroaig,
Yeah.
and then it's been brought back to room temperature, but the wateriness is still there.
So that's an interesting way to describe it, and that kind of like sits with, you know, like I said, of I always thought it was just a watered down Laphroaig 10-year-old. So even despite all these different casks that have gone into this, and like that's some effort, right? Laphroaig have gone to the bother to put, you know, a mixture of casks in, marry them together, create something that's like a marriage of casks or a blend. But actually, what is being communicated in the glass is essentially a watered down version of the 10-year-old.
Well, what's interesting is I know for a fact that Laphroaig
pass us one of them. So these are the 10-year-olds.
Laphroaig 10 use colouring, right? And this has very little colour in it, which would suggest that there isn't much. Okay. The studio was falling apart. So we had to take a pause in the episode. It wasn't because I started singing that we paused the episode. It was the mic stand fell off. But we're back. But what I was saying about the colouring is there is colouring in the Laphroaig 10, which is one of the criticisms that people give. That is it E50 colouring, whatever it is, E35 or something like that. This has very little colour in it, which if it's been in different casks, it should have more colour naturally than it does. But if you look at the 10-year-old, it's got a totally different, way more richer colour than it, and obviously that's colouring. But there's no colour that has really gone into this from the cask.
No.
This is like a very straw whiskey, which is like an Ardbeg 10. It looks like, and so that would suggest that it's not been in the cask or reacted with some of the sherry casks and some of the other casks that much that it's had an influence on it.
Yeah,
and I think that comes through in the flavour as well.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Like, if you think about Laphroaig, it's a challenging whiskey, right? So there could be an argument for perhaps that's what they've wanted to create, is a whiskey that is a gateway to Laphroaig, because you do get that ashy medicinal peat. It's very subdued. It's very, you know, yeah, you could say it's watered down, but there's a smoothness to it. There's no burn, there's no harshness, so it does drink more like a blend. And I just wonder whether it's designed as like a gateway to say, okay, like I like that, but I want more. Do you know what I mean? For people that if you just gave them the 10-year-old straight away, or something like Law or, you know, cast strength 10-year-old, they're just going to go, ugh, and they're just not going to drink Laphroaig ever again.
What percentage is the Laphroaig 18?
Ooh, I think they went 48% for that off the top of my
48%.
head.
And so you also can buy the 10-year-old cast strength.
Yeah.
What was the independent bottle, the 15, the Damn Good Drams? What was that?
They bottle at 50%.
Okay, so
that's a 15-year-old.
And then the sherry cask was 50.
Bourbon cask.
Which we loved. So Laphroaig tends to work best, I think, at 50. Right? My favourite Laphroaigs have all been around that 50 mark. And so having the because even the cask strength thing, I think you need to water it down a little bit. I mean, it's 57 the cask, and you water it down a little bit just to give it a bit more roundedness. So it's from a Laphroaig fan, it's always going to be a step down to see this. But I understand your point in terms of if you want to make something accessible, you want something that can sit next to a space cider and give someone an opportunity to not be totally outside of their comfort zone. Maybe it is. Maybe that's what it's there for. Is it something akin to a blend like that? I guess in my mind I was thinking of like the turbo. You know, the different 5 different casks. Was it the Lochlear had 5 different casks? There's so many people doing so many casks into one
that's
now,
true.
Very young whiskies, and this will be a young whiskey.
And they're working well. It
doesn't taste young. It just tastes underpowered.
Yeah, diluted.
Which the 10 doesn't taste underpowered in the same way.
So if you tried the 10 next to it now.
Yeah, I just had a sip.
And it's a lot more impactful, isn't it?
I have no quarrel with it 10 at all.
Hits the spot.
Even at 40%, it's a great drink for me. This, and sometimes actually I like it more because I can enjoy it. I can enjoy it more because
it is 40%, and like
it just slides down.
Yeah, I agree. I think the 10-year-old is a great whiskey, and when you say like £31 for a 10-year-old age statement that's this good in quality. And this is just 100% bourbon cask as well, which again, I think, you mentioned obviously strength. I think Laphroaig does really well in just bourbon. But then it's like, well, the law, I love that. And that's obviously not just bourbon.
And we raved about the sherry cask.
So good.
But you're right. It's like the old particular I was talking about. The old particular 12-year-old just strip down the Laphroaig bourbon, ex-bourbon cask.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
All that kind of
yes, please, Santa.
Medicinal character.
Just lovely, just absolutely delicious. And so it's the Laphroaig 10 is just like the example of that, which is in no way do I feel like I'm getting shortchanged with the 40%. I still think it's great.
Yeah. Well, now if you go back to the Oak Select after having a sip or two of that, it will feel like even more diluted, because this is the thing, and I think that kind of the point that I almost imagined us getting to naturally was if you like peat, or you've got like a bit of a Marmite kind of palate that is likes things that not everybody likes, the 10-year-old is definitely the way to go. Like if you want that real true Laphroaig experience, even though it's 40%, you get all those medicinal flavors, you get that, the character of the distillate, the briny, real quality Islay whiskey. If you're kind of like really on the fence and you're just like, oh, I want to dip my toe in the water with trying something peated, then I'd definitely go Oak Select, because the 10-year-old could put you off.
Yeah. So with me, there's just I'm not. And this may be some people, and this may be even a hot take. It's not intended to be a hot take, but there's £6 isn't going to change my life,
no.
Right? So there's not even a decision to make
Financially, no.
Because if you're going to invest in a bottle of whiskey that you really want to enjoy, just pay an extra £6 because you already paid £25. It's not like you're buying something for £10 and then it's a jump to 25.
Yeah,
I can see a different decision making in people's mind there. It becomes a bit more of a luxury purchase than a everyday purchase, like a can of Coke. But it's it just I don't see the reason for it to exist on the enjoyment scale for anybody who's an enthusiast. It really is for but do they tell the story well enough then to let people know that this is maybe as our entry level thing?
Yeah, possibly not.
Do they have it on the bottle or in the?
Well, no, I don't think so. And that's the thing is, like, like we said at the beginning, going into this,
Yeah, it does say our most laid back expression.
Yeah.
So they are drawn from it. Yeah, so they are actually a mellow, balanced style. They've got sweet, supple smoke. So they are trying to tell you it actually. So it goes. Our cask collection from Select in brackets, the easygoing one. So yeah, they're all about what you've said. It's all about the subtlety, and it's all about don't worry. You will actually get something that you can't get from a Glenlivet 12, which would be maybe. Well, what would you buy it for the same price? You're actually probably getting like the Founders Reserve, the Glenlivet Founders Reserve is probably the alternative. Or if you want to go up from a Johnny Walker Red, maybe Johnny Walker Black, £22 usually. If you get it the right on the same sort of offer shelf.
I think this would hold its own next to Johnny Walker Black without question, and probably of a similar price. It doesn't tell you much about the casks on the label, but then I guess people that are picking this up in the supermarket are probably not really that interested in the types of cask or anything. But I would say I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I've had it as like a sort of midweek dram, just one of those ones where you just like take the edge off the day. Just going to have a couple of drams tonight, something like that's not going to get too out of hand. And on its own, not next to this, because that contrast doesn't do it any favors. Like the 10 is definitely the superior whiskey in my opinion, but on its own, actually, like I think it's okay. I think it's good for somebody that just wants to experience something a bit different.
So there's only 2 whiskies I ever put ice in. One is Laphroaig 10, one is Johnny Walker Black, right? So it's just sometimes you feel like a tumbler, put a drop of ice in it, and just it chills it a little bit. And what you find with Laphroaig is it doesn't lose its flavour. You've still got something. It doesn't mute things. Whereas if you put ice in a lot of other whiskies, it's going to mute what it's got in it. If you put ice in that, you couldn't. There's no way that would ever be an enjoyable experience to me. It has no utility in what I want. I would always just go for a. The Johnny Walker Islay edition would be more preferential to that, and you got a bit more of the Kaila type peat in that, and so you got that feeling of like, you're peat, I'm getting a little bit adventurous here, but you still got the way more roundedness and smooth. Well, it's 12 years old as well.
What was that? That was on a deal the other day, and it was how much?
25.
Yeah, exactly. So
24 or 25.
Bit of a no-brainer.
That one is a revelation. If you're looking for a little sipper,
yeah,
Johnny Walker, and you like Johnny Walker Black, but you want to go for a bit of a gateway of peat, that's the one you should go for, not the Laphroaig Select.
We're not doing him any favors there, but
well, it's just you know, I just don't. As I said, I don't. It doesn't. I'm not the market for it, but I am the market for that, and I love this. So and I still like the 10, and I like the we are the type of people that if they do release a like they're gonna release this month, I think, the Law Cask Strength.
Oh yeah,
which will be an instant buy.
Looking forward to that. Yeah.
You know, I'll beg, steal, and borrow to get a bottle of that, because that's going to be something that I'm the market for what
special,
they're doing there.
Yeah, that's it. Like, of all that I know about the Fay Sheila releases for this year, 2025, the Law Cask Strength is the one that's got me the most excited. I probably won't even buy the Ardbeg.
I'm not buying the Ardbeg one.
I think I'm kind of done with those like now. But yeah, Laphroaig, Law Cask Strength. Anyway, yeah, I think just keep it punchy. We'll wrap it up. We're not going to do a 2-minute review. This is something just a little bit different. But yeah, I guess
compare and contrast.
Oak Select, is it a buy for you?
Well, you know my answer.
So it's a buy.
You know my answer.
So not a buy, and the 10-year-old.
10-year-old is just you can't beat it. Join it. You know, and I actually do really like Glenlivet 12. You know, which is like what I'd call it comparison on the supermarket shelf. Both £31 on a club card deal, Nectar deal. I think it lives in that little universe of you never feel bad drinking it. Whereas sometimes when you drink like your Springbank 10, you're like, oh, I've drunk a bit too much of that. The bar's gone down a little bit too much. So and it hurts your enjoyment because you don't know when you can replace it. Whereas in Laphroaig 10, you never feel guilty. You can just get full enjoyment of the tastiness that is Laphroaig whiskey.
Yeah. So buy this, not that.
Definitely.
And like, so it's interesting. I think the bar was quite low for me because there was a whiskey tour a few years back when we went to Laphroaig. We didn't actually, we've never actually done a tasting at Laphroaig.
No, we missed our slot, didn't we?
So we definitely did. The next time I go back to Islay, that's going to be top of my list. But they gave us like a sample because we went in, just had a look at the distillery, had a look at the shop, whatever. And the sample that they gave us this was before it became Oak Select. It was still just like Laphroaig Select. And I was like, I'm not even going to drink that. That's like rank. It's disgusting. And then I got this. And I poured it like it was a Sunday. I was just watching a movie with the wife. And
what did you watch?
Oh, Heretic with Hugh Grant.
Oh, a bit of Hugh.
Yeah,
nice, good choice.
It's a decent movie. It's all right. Yeah. But I was like enjoying it, and I was like, do you know what? Because for me the bar was low, and it's raised the bar. But I would say, I do agree. If you can get the 10-year-old for £31, yeah. Just spend the extra £6 and just buy it. So I think conclusively we'll say buy the 10, buy the Oak Select. If you're just looking for something a bit, a little bit approachable as an introduction to peat, or really the bottom line is, if that's what you want, go have a look for the Johnny Walker Islay Origins. Again, very similar price. That's probably the better gateway into a really good Islay whiskey experience.
When you're ready for peat, just put your big boy pants on and you'll be ready for peat. And there will be certain people that never that had one peaty whiskey once, and it was like never again. And we have them we talk to in the cask.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh bloody hell, I could never do peaty whiskey me. And they just love a Speyside, that honeyed vanilla whiskey. That's their perfect drink. Or even like a Grant's, something like really just as smooth as it can be. Good, decent whiskey, right? If you don't need, if you want to go intro to peat, then just go Laphroaig 10, Ardbeg 10, go Lagavulin 16 if you really want to push the boat out.
Yeah,
they should be your introductions.
Lagavulin 16's getting,
because they will let you have the what peat can be, or what Islay whiskies can be.
I think the price is going up a bit for Lagavulin 16. Used to be an absolute bargain, and it's just the price has gone up and up and up.
Well, they have the 8 in Tesco, which is not as pricey. You probably get that for about 45, I think, with your mum's discount. Maybe you can even get it me for about 38. But it's apparently that 8 is more challenging than the 16. It's a lot more complex.
I like the 8-year-old. Yeah, I think I've got
people really
another
it's a really
of it there.
amazing expression of Laphroaig, people say.
Anyway, I think
or Lagavulin, sorry.
Conclusive. Yeah, we'll crack Lagavulin 8-year-old open. We're not going to do another review today, but maybe next week.
Let's too much singing.
Yeah, let's do the Lagavulin 8-year-old next week.
Yeah, good choice.
Happy days.
My old pal.
Yeah. And teeing the viewers up for another classic edition, the Islay Whiskey channel, Bottle Kill TV.
I saw something on a podcast the other day. They said anyone that hits like and subscribe, I just turn off. So should we tell people to like and subscribe, or just expect that if they're this far in the video, they're probably going to subscribe anyway, because they're blown over by the charisma, the dynamism of what is Bottle Kill TV.
The witty banter of whiskey entertainment.
The number one whiskey channel on the whole of YouTube in our own minds. And hopefully yours.
Definitely.
So yeah, don't like and subscribe. See, little reverse psychology. Don't dare. But do come back for the next episode. Laphroaig 8.
Make up your own minds. It's down to you. It's your choice.
And if not, have a fantastic week. If you're in UK, enjoy the British summer that we're having right now. And Bottle Killer, take them out. Okay. Well, I've had a good time. I hope you at home have had a good time. Michael, have you had a good time drinking Laphroaig Oak Select? Well, now we know. It's always been an enigma in my mind. I've always never known what actually is the story with it. Now we know. Well, that's good. And we'll see you next time on Bottle Kill TV.